Hey, what's going on everyone? I hope you guys are doing well, and I hope that all of you are having a great day, and thank you for joining me here today for your daily dose of Star Wars. Everyone knows Emilia Clarke from Game of Thrones, but we will soon know her from the galaxy far, far away as Qi'ra. This is a character who doesn't want everything about her out there. We don't even know her full name. She's a woman of many identities based off of the teaser trailer that we've seen, where we've seen her in very fancy apparel. We've seen her at this cocktail type of party, which is supposed to be, I guess, the cantina, and we have seen her just with Han, avoiding the Imperial stormtroopers. So she is certainly going to be a mixed bag of tricks, and I can't wait to see what we have up for Solo. With that being said, Anthony Breznican of Entertainment Weekly has, of course, interviewed Emilia Clarke just as he has Donald Glover and Alden Ehrenreich, so this should be pretty good, so let's get into it. The first question Anthony asks is, are you currently shooting the final season of Game of Thrones? To which Emilia responds, technically I am shooting Game of Thrones, but right now I am in Rome shooting a D&G campaign, so sort of a mixture of the two. Sounds like a busy time, so thanks for talking to me about Qi'ra. She and Han Solo go back to their childhoods, so can you characterize the setup of their relationship? Well, they grew up as comrades essentially. They grew up as pals, as partners in crime. There's obviously a romantic side of things, but they grew up together, so they were kids together. And the beautiful thing about this Han Solo story is it's highlighting all of the most brilliant aspects of Han Solo, the character, and characterizing those aspects and characters that he meets on his journey to becoming who he is. This was an interesting question, and Emilia's answer was actually pretty interesting, so Anthony follows this up with, so these people all represent different sides of who he becomes, to which he goes on to say, that's kind of the story really. You are seeing all of these different elements that make up who he is through the people and the interactions and relationships, just as well as we do as human beings. We are simply the embodiment of our experiences essentially. They are guiding him, inspiring him, maybe corrupting him? You see the beginnings of him, the lovable rogue. You get it fine-tuned throughout these relationships. And Qi'ra is one of those relationships that has an impact on him as a character. And within that relationship, the thing that you see with Qi'ra is that she is an enigma. This is echoing back to what Emilia Clarke we already knew about her character, which is she's not always right in the center of things. She kind of stays in the background. She's doing her oath thing, but she's always very mysterious in the sense that we don't always know what she's fully up to. So Anthony picks up on this and says, so through her, he learns not to show his cards to people. To which she responds, she's a little bit of a tough one to get a hold of, really. There was the underlying joy in an origin story, because you know where they end up. And Qi'ra is nowhere to be seen, so something has happened. You know what I mean? This is an interesting response. Maybe she's going to die? I really hope that's not the case. I really hated it kind of at the end of Rogue One when they all died, even though it made sense for the story. But I hope they don't kill Emilia Clarke off. But let me know what you think about that in the comment down below. The next question Anthony asked was, the film will give us a reason why he doesn't talk about her? Something must happen to affect him as a person. But for us fans not to know about her, twists happen. And there is a great idea of trust. And who do you trust? And how do you trust? And which side of the tracks either character coming from or going to? So this response has me thinking that maybe she just turns Imperial, which would kind of make sense based off of the outfit we see her wearing in the teaser. But she is coming off of the Falcon in that scene, so it doesn't really set anything up explicitly. But if I was going to have to guess whether she dies or whether she goes to the Imperials, I would have to guess she goes to the Imperials. Of course, I'm only making that based off of the statement that she just made, so it could be that she's just kind of teasing the film, and she's not even going to do either of those things. The next question Anthony asked was, is there pressure to make a movie like this that match up with the ones that came before it? She responds with, the joy of this movie is, it's like we're the kids at back of the bus. Do you know what I mean? Like everybody else is doing the big stuff and we're kind of just making this stupid, cool, really funny, weird movie, and no one's looking. All the Star Wars films have got, obviously, a beautiful flavor of humor in them, but this gets to be Han Solo funny, which is not the comic interlude. The comic interlude is it. Anthony asks, Qi'ra and Han knew each other long ago, so are they being reunited in this movie? To which she responds, I think that's something you should wait to discover. I don't want to say. I don't want to start anything that might get me fired, or just write me out of the movie. I think the answer to this question is going to be yes, because in the teaser, I'm going back to the teaser because this is all we have so far, is we've seen her in the speeder with Han outrunning the Imperials, which is one outfit. We've seen the Entertainment Weekly photo of her at what appears to be this film's cantina in a completely different outfit, and we see her in this really fancy regalia, which implies to me that she is going to be with Han at the beginning. They're going to go their separate ways. She's going to meet them back at this fancy outfit, and then probably at some point going to need her to help him at the cantina. We continue with Anthony asking, I doubt they would do that at this point. What is Qi'ra doing when we first encounter her? From the trailer, they are in a speeder trying to escape some stormtroopers. The point where you meet her, she is with Han. They are both doing what they've got to survive, and that is Qi'ra the whole movie. The whole way through, she is surviving. And surviving in the underworld that we know to be filled with smuggling, aloof gamblers, wrong side of the tracks nasty ones. It was beautiful they touched on it very briefly when they are at the racetracks. Do you remember and they were talking about what the world is? On Canto Bight, they were talking about the ugliness behind the money and power. And Emilia goes with, and that's our world. I mean, it's not the racetracks and not Canto Bight, but we have the main storyline talk about what the smuggling, gambling, black market world is like. It's dangerous and it's sordid and it's ugly and it's really, really dark. There are loads of different gangstery elements running through it. It has been really fun to put Qi'ra in that. She has a couple of guises, but essentially she's just fighting to stay alive. Anthony's next question touches on one of the costume changes that we've seen her in of the three that we know of thus far, and he says, from the look of her, the elegant gowns and capes, I would have assumed this is somebody who is thriving. She looks wealthy. To which Emilia says, well, if you have got a really glamorous lady in a really sordid environment, you kind of know that maybe glamour is hiding a few rough roads. Anthony's next question is, we're seeing a lot of strong women in the Star Wars movies now with Rey, Jyn Erso, Rose, Phasma, Ahsoka, Padme, Holdo, and others now standing alongside Leia. Does Qi'ra fit into the tradition of a strong warrior woman? Yeah. I am never going to take a job that doesn't tell that story, because I think it's a very important narrative that we are telling all ages at all stages. And while it's Han Solo's movie, this girl gets to be a BA, and strong, and has her own journey. Qi'ra's journey is definitely one of survival and strength. The way that I felt about her was, yeah, this girl has a core of steel. So while this was a longer interview, overall what I'm getting from Emilia Clarke here is that Qi'ra is an enigma. She is going to be here and there, and we're not really going to be sure as to why whenever we see her there initially, and we're going to have Han interact with Qi'ra in order to figure things out, even though her arm is probably being twisted in multiple ways, and that she's just going to have to play Han off. And what this is probably going to happen is, by betraying Han, by being separated from him, they're both obviously going to be different characters, so when they meet again, they're going to have to do a little bit of figuring each other out, again as if it was for the first time. And by this point, it's probably going to be that Qi'ra isn't going to die, but that rather she's probably going to be on the wrong end of the stick here. She's probably going to be twisted into doing something that she knows is wrong, but is going to have to do to survive, and Han is probably going to try and fix that. So we'll have to wait to see when Solo comes out if he's successful. But that wraps things up for me here in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know with a comment down below whether you're excited for this movie now than you were a couple months ago. I've been asking this pretty much in every Solo video because I'm interested to see how quickly everybody gets that much more excited for the film with all of the new press that's coming out. But if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this one. If you want to become a daily coffee drinker, hit that bell down there to receive a notification on your iOS or Android device the second a new video goes live. Thank you guys for watching. As always, keep loving Star Wars, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.